Hi, it's Jason Perico for Bianchi Honda, suggesting you start your new year with a new Honda. Start by leasing America's best-selling SUV, the 2016 Honda CR-V EX all-wheel drive with standard features including moonroof, heated seats, touchscreen display, and more for only $299 a month with no money down. Lease Erie's favorite, the 2016 CR-V EX all-wheel drive for an amazing $299 a month here at Bianchi Honda.
Time now for the Gannon Golden Knights Coaches Show. He is head coach John Reilly. Coach, how are you?
Pretty good.
All right, last time we spoke in the midst of a win streak. It's since come to an end, but that said, you did tie a school record with 8 straight with the win against Slippery Rock. So we'll start there before we get into the game. Are you surprised this group had it in them to go 8 straight?
No, not really. We've liked this group from the very beginning of the year, and we don't get caught up in win streaks or any of that. I mean, that's just kind of a byproduct of work that you're putting in. I know it's boring, but we take it one game at a time, and they've found a way. Frankly, they found a way to win some games that, you know, I'm not really sure how they did it, but obviously they have something inside of them. So won a lot of close games, obviously, in there, and it bodes, you know, it says a lot about them.
The game against Slippery Rock was a 57-54 victory, so a close one. Can we call this a defensive battle?
Well, it was. I mean, Slippery Rock's a team that it's been a wonderful rivalry over the years, and they're probably the most physical team that will play all year. They're rebounding. They're big guys, tough guys, and they, on top of being probably the best rebounding team in the league, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they have good players. So we knew, again, that was going to be a tough game, and got down 8 in the second half. We were able to get some stops, did a better job in the second half on the backboards, keeping them off, and actually we got a big offensive rebound putback that was huge for us, that really helped us win the game.
Kevin Reynolds, he's a guy that I think post-game you said that you're good friends with. His in-game coaching style is something you've got to appreciate, I guess, as a coach. He's got a lot of energy, first of all. And what would you say about his style? He's very...
Well, like I said, I don't spend any time looking down there. I mean, we're trying to take care of our guys, but I think the mark of a very good coach is they're good year in and year out. They have a certain style that they don't ever take a possession off, and you know, people can say whatever they want, but he knows the game. He's as smart as, I know he's a lot smarter than me. He's a really smart guy. He knows everything that's going on, and his guys fight every night.
Is this one of those that gets to be kind of a chess match?
It does. I mean, we both kind of show our hands, though. I mean, we both kind of know what we're going to do. I mean, we're both trying to do certain things, and those are things that we believe in. I would like to believe we're more old school type coaches in terms of we're not going to wow you with being fancy, but our teams usually are very hard to play against.
And you mentioned Slippery Rock on the boards. Were you happy with your team's effort? I mean, it comes down to Slippery Rock being a great rebound.
I don't know. I don't want to say effort, because I think our guys, for the most part, really gave good effort. Our technique wasn't great. You know, they come, so they're coming, and our whole thing is in the second half we did it. You know, we have to hit them, drive them back. We've got to get some type of wedge in there, and they were driving us right underneath the backboard in the first half, and that's terrible rebounding position. So it's always an adjustment when you have so many new players, because they've never had to box out before. You know, so a shot goes up, they just run for the ball. You can't do that at this level, and so I think it's more of a technique thing.
And then balanced scoring, that happens when you have 5 guys doing a load of the work. But is it important that you get several of those guys in double digits and that it's balanced?
Most definitely. And I think that comes from our point guard play. Jimmy Berger's been excellent all year, and he's been giving us some spot minutes off the bench. But he shares the ball. He's got excellent court vision. The game was, again, a 1 or 2 point game late in the game, and he found Evan Phoenix streaking down the middle of the court. You know, the lane for that pass wasn't very big, and he got it in there. But he's been doing it. He's been doing it all year. Again, his vision is tremendous, and I think in our offense, he keys it, and for the most part, we've been having a lot of assists, and we have been spreading it around, which is good because then you can't just focus on one guy.
And then we move on to IUP. This one, I think a lot of the story is told in the first half. You ended up down 22 going into the locker room. What do you say about, I called it the drought in the first half. There was a rough stretch.
Well, again, I think IUP, they came out at a high level. Their intensity was through the roof, and they kind of knocked us back on our heels the first couple of minutes of the game. Our guys regrouped, got back into it. I think we were down 12-13, and then I think really in the first half, turnovers really hurt us, and they were live ball turnovers. They were turnovers in the middle of the floor there that they put them into easy. They converted into easy baskets, and the other thing was too our just defensively in terms of dealing with the ball screens. I don't think we did a good job in that area, and talk was not where it needed to be as well. But I give credit to our guys. I mean, we were second half, we got it to 56-43, and we stopped them 4 straight times, and we had 4 shots within 2 feet, and we didn't get any of those to go, and that was really where we could have made that move. We could have got it back in a 2 or 3 point game, and we just weren't able to do it. IUP hit some shots, and they were definitely the better team that day. There's no doubt about it. We didn't. They were at another level. We were trying, but we got to be better from the start.
I noticed you held Slippery Rock to 2 threes. It was a much different story with IUP. I mean, they're a much different team. Stylistically, what are the big differences there?
Well, IUP's our Slippery Rock's a smash mouth team, and big, strong post players. Good, very good guard play. IUP, they run a lot of things. Jacobo's probably the best player in the league, and they move them all around. And they've got a center inside that's 6th year in college, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in a good way. All the credit to him. He's probably got his undergrad, and probably I'm sure he's working on his master's. But that experience says a lot. And then Coach Lombardi's son is just a really heady player, and he was the one that really exposes on some ball screen stuff. And but again, like anybody in the league, they share the ball, they play hard, they have a certain style, they're good at it. But IUP is much more perimeter oriented than Slippery Rock.
Like you said, there was that run in the second. Some teams, they don't respond so well to the first half you had. So that paired with the demeanor in the locker room, whatever it was, did you learn something about your team in this game?
Our demeanor is always going to be good in the locker room because I've done this for 30 years. So, it's a long haul. Just like that game was a 40-minute game. The start of that game, the IUP game, hurt us. But I always believe it's a long game. And if we can do what we do, we'll get back in the game and have a chance to win the game. And for whatever reason, but you got to make some shots and you got to get some stops. But I think we definitely learned some things. And sometimes when you win that many games in a row and you win close games, sometimes you can get a little loose. You can get a little. And defensively all year, we've never been quite where I want us to be. I mean, we've got to get better in that area. We just have to. We've been much better offensively, but we've got to get better defensively because ultimately, the defensive part and the rebounding and the loose balls, the 50-50 balls, that's what's going to get you over the edge. So we're going to continue to try to shore that area up a little bit. Because all these teams, like we have Johnstown coming in, I mean, these guys are skilled. They're really, really skilled, and they run stuff that's hard to guard. So our on-ball defense, our ball pressure, getting guys to not hug their man off the ball, to get to the ball, those things are really, really important for our last 7 games.
Yeah, you mentioned Pitt Johnstown Wednesday. That's at 7:30. Then, I mean, who knows? You may run into IUP again down the road. So how imperative is it for you, Coach, to develop your bench?
Well, I don't. The bench is being developed every day in practice, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think depth can be overrated. You have to earn your time in practice, and I would love for our bench to help us more. But when you come in off the bench, the leash is a lot shorter, because again, the game's only 40 minutes, really short. And we can't afford to have someone come in off the bench and, make 3 mistakes defensively, miss 2 box outs. Then we're really in the hole. But with that, and the other thing is the consistency. I mean, some of the guys on the benches, we just haven't had the consistency. I want to know what, when I'm playing somebody, I want to know. I don't want to be surprised. I don't want to roll the dice and throw it out there and go, oh, I hope he can do it tonight. That comes over time. And again, trying to develop consistency, you got to know what you're going to get before the game. And we've been really, really up and down with that. So it's hard. It's just harder to build trust when you don't know what you're going to get on a day-to-day basis. Now, that over time, usually is maturity. That's why I get into Cottrell. Cottrell's been at IP for a long period of time. Coach Lombardi knows what he's going to get out of him.
Right.
Okay, he knows. He may be lacking in some areas, but he knows what he's going to get. And we're still in that process of trying to figure some things out in terms of what we're going to get from certain individuals on a consistent basis.
This may sound dumb, but do they have like bullet points? They know the points they need to reach in order to...
I would hope so, because I bore myself sometimes, because in terms of defensively what we're trying to do, I mean, every day, we're very, very consistent. Coaches are very, very consistent with what we're stressing. It would not be right for me to try to hold our guys accountable for things that we don't stress and don't work on in practice. That would make no sense at all. So we try to keep it very simple, keep it basic. For instance, defensively, this sounds stupid, but you need to play in a stance. You need to play with your knees bent. We did a very poor job of that on Saturday. Defensively, guarding the ball, staying in front of the ball is the most important thing that you can do, is stay in front of the ball. Now, the other 4 guys, wherever their man is, they don't need to be right next to their man. They should all be to the ball. We call that loading up to the ball. So in essence, you have 5 guys guarding the basketball. As the ball moves, we obviously have to be moving as the ball moves, because you always have to keep yourself in position to be in position to make a play. Now, I'm getting probably too deep for a lot of our listeners in terms of coaching things. But those are things that we're stressing every day. Now, again, the whole time, you need to play in a stance. Now, the easy thing to do as the ball moves, as their shot clock goes, the easy thing to do is to relax, to get tired. All of a sudden they throw a skip pass, guy throws a shot fake, you leave your feet, all of a sudden they're driving it and we got problems. So there's a lot of discipline that goes into it too. I mean, there's a lot going on, there, but it's still basic. You play in a stance, you stay in front of the ball, you get to the ball, and then any ball screen stuff, there has to be a lot of talk, because they may not know the screens on the right, they may not know the screens on the left. And then the guys with their men that are the farthest most away, they're on the wall, which is basically, if you draw a line down the middle of the court from the basket to the basket, they should be on that wall, because then if anyone slips to the rim, that's where your help comes from. So basic things like that. Now, some guys takes longer.
Right.
Some people figure it out. Some people never figure it out. That's where you didn't figure out if you have players or not players.
Yeah.
I mean, many players can figure this stuff out. But so yes, they should know, because that's stuff that we're stressing every day. Just like offensively, we're stressing every day. Like, we want the ball to move constantly, because the more the ball moves, the harder it is on a defense. Whereas I thought on Saturday, we only had 10 assists, where we've had probably 10, 12, 13 games, well over 20 assists. That's what we call the ball sticking. If the ball sticks, we're easier to guard, okay, and it makes it harder for us to score. So there's basic things we're stressing every day. But it takes time too, and just because maybe one of our guys doesn't figure it out now, there's still time to figure it out. But they have to work at it. It's an everyday thing.
I do know one thing about basketball. You can put this in your back pocket if you want. Beef. For free throws?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of that before.
I know all
I don't
about
remember
it.
what
Balance
the letters
eyes,
stand
elbow,
for, but-
balance eyes, elbow fall through, and that's a
No,
whole.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, But free
That
throw.
wasn't about your team. That was just
Free throws
Gotcha.
is putting the time in, putting the time in. You know, and that's our fault when we don't leave points off the board. I mean, that really hurt us.
Pitt Johnstown Wednesday, 7:30. It'll be at home. I'll just say this about Saturday. These names, what do they mean to you? Daryl Freeman, Mel Witherspoon, Joe Mattis, three guys.
Well, you know, I mean, Daryl Freeman, I know the best out of all of them. And yeah, I helped recruit Daryl to Gannon way back. And I mean, I love Daryl Freeman. He's a very, very smart person. When we were here, I spent a lot of time because I was the assistant. I spent a lot of time with Daryl and everything. I don't know if you were there, but everything that he said in that was true. He was nuts, in a great way. In a great way. I mean, he was a typical college student, you know. But he had his mom and dad, if I remember correctly, both worked for the post office, and deep down he had great discipline. But the thing that I respected about Daryl so much is that he had an unbelievable passion for the game of basketball, and he loved to play. And at that time, I was playing a lot, and we spent a lot of time playing. Mel Witherspoon, I know Mel. Don't know him great, know him okay. You know, he's just a very, very good, honest, hardworking person. Cares about people, and he's always cared about the city of Erie. He's always his adopted city, and he's always cared about Gannon. And then Joe Mattis, you know, he's a lot like Dan Telesky. I mean, they just do all that behind-the-scenes stuff. Joe's always volunteered his time. You know, he helps Dan taking pictures and coaching the golf, and he does so many other things that you know, you really, it just doesn't come to mind right now. But loves Gannon, and he's so unselfish, and I think those people. Well, and the other thing is too, I might be wrong, but I don't think so. I'd be willing to bet he's probably never accepted a dime for, you know, all that photography and stuff. I mean, he's just very, very giving. He believes in giving back. So that was a nice night. And the other honorees were great. I mean, Colin Peterson was great. I mean, and you know, our softball player, I'm not great with the names right now, but the speeches were, I think everyone would agree, the speeches were great. And it just showed their love for Gannon, and it was a nice night.
Now we look ahead again. Pitt Johnstown Wednesday, 7:30. It's a big one, Coach. Good luck to you and the team. It'll be over on Jet Radio 1400. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Alan.